Well, isn't this an interesting little story? Sure throws an elephant-sized monkey wrench into the cogs of this men are not victims machine, doesn't it? To fill in those who may also be unaware, like I was, Hustlers is based on a real series of crimes commenced by a group of strippers who lost much of their business after the 2008 stock market crash butt-fucked the US so hard that Uncle Sam was left gaping for a full 10 years. During the early years of this crash, this group of strippers decided to unify and no longer play the victims of these criminals' horribly illegal actions. Instead, they decided to victimize the criminals with horribly illegal actions themselves, and they did so by ironically taking a page out of Bill Cosby's book and took advantage of numerous men by drugging them and raping their bank accounts. And yes, when I learned about what this story was about, I laughed out loud when I realized that Cardi B was in this film after her Instagram rant. This brings up the immediate issue of how little you care for these characters. Initially, things are fine leading up to the crash, and the camaraderie amongst the women is great, complaining about pathetic boyfriends, swooning over each other's clothes, dance styles, and fake tits, or the occasional praise of bobs because they don't complain or give up until they're drained. So I guess just your average Twitter thread? There isn't much shown about these women's private lives besides the women's locker room banter. We know the two main leads have kids of their own, but we don't know what pressures are applied to these homes. I don't imagine Lopez's character wouldn't immediately eviscerate anyone that coughed in her daughter's general direction. However, Wu's character plays almost as timid as Frodo if Gandalf whipped out his staff. Do you even remember any character's name that isn't Ramona? I walked out of the theater and forgot who Wu's character name was like I threw a $5 bill at her for the effort. We don't know what her struggles are, and by the end, when they show Wu in a panic with a long, steady shot of her running, there's a brief moment where you think that context is missing. Is her daughter in serious trouble? Oh, no, she's just late for school. So as far as gritty, rough and tumble films about dark moments of times in American history, or life, I guess, goes, this film lacks the emotional punch of The Wolf of Wall Street. But it isn't as shitty as The Kitchen. Hustler certainly isn't as great as The Wolf of Wall Street by any stretch. It doesn't have the cast or director behind it, and when it does lack substance, Lopez is thrown on the pole to avert your attention and prevent you from thinking with her voluptuous curves, toned thighs, strong hands, firm ass, and perfect breasts as your pants tighten at the crotch with the mere idea of... Oh, shit, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Why am I drooling? Hustlers is an alright movie. The acting varies from character to character, though I can confirm, as you may have heard, Lopez owns this role like Frieza owned the Sands. The story is an intriguing idea, to say the least, but the pacing is staggered like your internet when Comcast decides to run more tests. The humor is good, there is a lack of incentive to connect emotionally to anyone in this movie, though, and the Hollywood ending robs you of any climax you would have given yourself if you just chose to skip out on this one.